Good morning, guys. It is Sunday, October 14th, and I am back with your daily wisdom shot. I know I've been away for a little while. I have not been feeling great, and to be honest, my life has been utter chaos for this last week or so, and it has been very challenging on a healing level, on a personal level, on a professional level. So I have either not felt well enough to do this, or literally have not had the time, or just not had the focus. So I apologize and hope that things will settle down enough that I can get back to doing this regularly, except I am probably about to leave to do more hurricane recovery work, in helping the animals and bringing some animals up to our rescue locations for my day job. So that's what's going on with me. If I sound super low energy, is because I do not feel very good today. I think I'm coming down with something. I love how everybody's like, I have ascension symptoms and it's a runny nose and sore throat. I'm like, you have a cold. And that's how I feel. I think I'm catching a cold. Probably from stress and from working too hard and all that business. But sorry for anybody I just offended by making fun of that. Not everything is an ascension symptom, guys. So, all right, well, let's get started. I pulled the cards beforehand because it's no fun to listen to me shuffle. And I have the underlying energy, the overall energy, and then the left side is our feminine half of ourselves. The right side is the masculine half of ourselves. You can choose to interpret that as the energies within you, or as divine counterparts, if that's a situation you're in. And if that's the case, then it is also the energy within you. So, because those things are the same thing. So the overall energy I'm feeling is like this sort of strengthening of the intuitive body, the intuitive energies, and really a greater rooting of oneself into that ability and that energy and that flow. It's not an ungrounded way, because I feel like through the strength card you're very grounded, but you're being able to really let your I feel like it's your telepathic chakras are really reaching out into the ethers at this point and being able to filter in additional information. And that's really all part of how our lives are changing at this time, how we are upgrading and how we're being changed as a species to use our abilities that were from up to this point, or at least in the last several million years of our evolution, have been closed off. So I feel like there's sort of either a timed opening of these chakras and these abilities and activations of the energies and DNA and blah, 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 all that fancy stuff, which is really not my chosen vocabulary. I usually talk more about healing and energy and blah, blah, blah. It really all means the same thing. It's all mirroring what is being seen by other people. So I feel like those chakra centers are really opening up for anybody that this is resonating with, but honestly for most everybody, unless you're completely blocking it by your own either asleepness or resistance to it or fear of it. This is allowing a greater balance in your emotional life and It is allowing the integration and recognition of your masculine and feminine halves, and then allowing the unity of the two, because you're better receiving the flow of energy through each of your sides, and they're balancing each other out. So it's really through this intuitive knowing and this intuitive connection that you're getting to that place of unity consciousness, which is what we are so focused on getting to right now. And this is providing our newfound grounding and strength to I want to say attack our lives. I know that sounds weird, but that's kind of that's what I'm hearing. So we're starting to tackle, I guess, our lives through a different pathway as opposed to the way that we were before. It's kind of like the meshing of the physical world with the spiritual world as well, and the perfect balance that on this planet, for existing on this planet, that arises through doing those things. On the left side, I have the feminine half, and I almost didn't do this reading, to be honest, because when I saw these cards, I was like, this is me. This is about me. This is like, I asked for the collective, but it's giving me my story. But I did go ahead and do it because I thought, well, if I'm the reader and I'm attracting individuals into my readings, we probably are having similar experiences, because that's how it works. Like, my clients always reflect me. My employees always reflect me. My relationships always reflect me. So it's like we attract in the things into our lives that can show us what's going on within ourselves. That's just a law of attraction. So anyway, that's a long way of saying this is the feminine side. And I have the Seven of Swords here with a star. And I feel like this feminine half, which is receptive and open, is healing a lot of betrayal energy. And that's me in a nutshell. That's been my last week. Like, I have been through hell and back on an emotional scale, trying to cleanse out all this feeling of having been betrayed, having been hurt and betrayed, having been, I guess, played for a fool in different lifetimes, and in this lifetime, and in this, honestly, this like situation, maybe not quite so extremely, but the feeling of being betrayed by other people that you've trusted or are close to you, and the feeling that people are doing things behind your back in order to wrest control somehow. And I have definitely been working on healing that through releasing of that fear of people doing that. And so therefore, when you fear it, you start attracting it. Also through forgiveness. And that has been a challenge, but as you know, forgiveness is for you. It's not for the people who have hurt you. It is so that you don't continue to chain yourself to that shit behavior that somebody else showed you. Because when you hold unforgiveness, you're going to continue to attract that into your life. And I feel like, for me, this is like a karmic cycle. This is a karmic pattern, because I've seen many a lifetime of mine that involved just tragic betrayals. And I feel like, I came into this life with a broken heart, and I'm sick of it. So I'm ready to heal that. I want to heal that. I want to be able to trust. I want to be able to open my own heart to love in ways that I haven't been able to before, because people have been so careless with that. And I also then have been careless with myself, because I have not allowed love energy in, for fear of becoming very, very hurt. And so I feel like these cards, I know, I'm sorry, I've talked so much about myself, but that was because I think that that's probably going to resonate for a lot of you guys. This is telling me that with the star card here, we're healing that. Sorry about my dogs. They probably see somebody outside. We have a big bay window here in New York, and it's like, oh God, everything they see. So anyway, we're healing that. And with the Jack of Clubs clarifying, Louis, that's enough. Sorry, guys. With the Jack of Clubs clarifying, I feel like that is just changing this closed off state to a state of slow movement forward, slow and steady, grounded, safe movement forward. And that's really what we need right now. That is how you heal emotionally. You don't heal emotionally and like lurch forward in a crazy panic because you're bound to run into something again. This is slow and steady. This is calming. This is safe. And we're learning emotional safety right now. See if there's anything else. I do feel like there is a degree of us finally being able to leave those swords behind us, and taking off that cloak of betrayal, shedding that story, and allowing ourselves to really be bathed in the waters of forgiveness and the waters of healing. So that is happening if we're open to it. If we're open to it. That is the key. Just opening your heart to that, asking your angels and your guides and your highlight beings and any creator, God, whatever you refer to it as, the God of your understanding, for that healing. Ask and give them permission to help in that healing, because they can't do it unless you ask, because of free will. I feel my heart energy actually shifting at this moment because I'm saying these things out loud. So I hope that this is helping you, because it is definitely helping me. So on the masculine side, I have the Wheel of Fortune with the World. And to me, these cards are very complementary. They're both about cycles. Oh boy. Guys, enough! They're both about cycles. Sandusky, that's enough. So sorry, you guys. I feel like the tides are changing. They have been for a while. But this to me is like, I actually feel like this is showing me just a bit of resistance. Like there's just still this bit of holding on to what was once known, but it's the release. It's like that resistance is beginning to be released. Things are changing for the better, and you're starting to see as these little pieces, it's like it's being held back by 500 little pieces of tape, and as you peel up each piece of tape, it starts to budge more and more and more and more until it finally breaks free. And as you peel up these bits of resistance, you're starting to see the little tiny bits of how your life is improving and changing for the better. And you might not see it in the now all the time, but sometimes you can look back 2 months in the past and say, oh my God, I'm in such a better place now. And it's really because you've let go of resistance, even if it's in all of these tiny steps. And our masculine side is really the part of us that tries to protect ourselves. We try to protect ourselves from harm or from unnecessary change or instability. It's the part that, goes out and gets the things that we need. And it doesn't like to feel unstable because it feels responsible for caring for all of our whole selves, right? So we have resisted some of this change, but that's resistance is breaking away, and that cycle with the world is closing, and there is this realization now that that's a time for celebration. New York City. I feel like there's an integration of all kinds of different energies happening right now, and that's helping to close the cycle. Again, it's another feeling of balancing between this sort of grounded sense, this sort of physical world, and this etheric world. You have the lion and the bull, and then you have this like raven and this, I don't even know what it is, angel thing shooting energy out of its eyes. So we have the physical and the etheric here. There's a lot of joy in that. And there's focus forward now to the new beginning that's coming around with the world. And so it's clarified by the 6 of spades, which is like the 6 of swords, and that is moving forward. It's moving forward into a new cycle, out of something difficult into something better, which I'm sure you know by now. So all these cycles are ending. Like all this karmic garbage is just getting cleared out. And I keep saying that in different readings, and so sometimes I feel like these readings sound the same, but that's because these energies are not always fast moving. We've been in this cycle for a few weeks. And so yeah, I just feel a certain level of freedom. There's freedom here for everyone. I mean, if you want to split this up to be, divine counterparts, this would be the masculine counterpart gaining some level of freedom, whether it's internal, breaking free of whatever restriction they had put on themselves or other people had put on them, or literally breaking physically free from a situation. Inside you, this really is, this is like this is mirroring this sort of forgiveness and healing aspect that the feminine side is going through. So this is the closing of that cycle, and it is a very good thing because it's moving into a positive direction now. Bottom of the deck was the King of Cups, and it's clarified by the 2 of spades. And for me, this really feels like a reopening of the heart center. Like we've all experienced tons of heart chakra clearings and openings. But I truly believe that is not something that stops. It's not that you get these activations and therefore you're perfect and well, you are perfect just the way you are, but meaning that there's no more opportunities for growth, right? Like your heart center is going to open time after time again throughout your life. Always growing, always being able to hold more, to integrate more with the unity consciousness. And all these changes right now, from my perspective, appear to be based in allowing that true heart opening and that true grasping of oh my god, my dogs are so bad. That true grasping of emotional stability and self-love and forgiveness, and truly being able to forgive and open up the heart with the two of swords or the two of spades clarifying. I feel like, when you see that traditional picture, it's the woman holding two swords over her heart, and that to me is always a heart closure. It's an inability to move forward because you're closing off your heart center. And so I feel that this is the breaking out of that, the breaking away of that. And it is through a certain degree of spiritual strength, because I just picked up a clump of these cards to look closer at the King of Cups, and what appeared on the deck then was the Nine of Wands. And that to me is all about spiritual strength, all about becoming the spiritual lion, and having knowledge and fortitude to move forward. And there's a certain degree of tiredness there. There's a certain degree of experience, which I feel that you get through the King of Cups energy. So there's a nearing of completion there as well with the King and the Nine. So you're reaching, again, we have the wheel and the world, the end of a cycle. Lots of changes with the healing, with the star. And I feel like this is a really positive movement forward, especially those of us who have had really difficult weeks this week. All right. I hope this is helpful. I see that the construction crews are coming to go into my backyard and tear down this tree that I'm so upset they're tearing down, as I love it, but it's apparently ripping up the concrete, and the landlord insists upon cutting it down. So my dogs are about to go batshit crazy if they haven't already been doing it. And so I will let you go, but thank you guys so much for listening. If you got to this point, I know I've been rambling, and I noticed the time, the length of the watch length or whatever they call it. And thank you if you actually listened to the end. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your comments and your likes and your shares. And please let me know if this resonates, okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.